Welcome back. The show Your Real Estate Today. Paul Jamison here. Happy Saturday. We do apologize for being pre-recorded, but we know and you know that we are going to have some fun and give you some good information, and that although we're not live as normal, we're still alive, which is good. So the show Your Real Estate Today, if you're just tuning in, is about real estate. So anything having to do with it and around it, we're talking about the process in buying and selling. You know, and I'm here, of course, with Michelle Wine with Costner and Preston with Home Inspection Carolina, Preston Sandlin. You know, it's interesting as we kind of walk through the process, and we're doing it a little slow, but we're giving you good information along the way. There's different types of insurances, right? And that must have been a good idea. It just ding ding. Different types. That's my computer. Different types of insurances out there.
Took my pills.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, that's right.
Was it just me?
So, you know, we talk about, and we have talked about before, certainly the expense of hazard insurance, the expense of, you know, different types of, you know, if you're in areas where there's flood and so on. But title insurance is critical, and you know, Preston, too. One of the things that your inspection report has become a critical part of has been the home warranty insurance, which a lot of people ask for, and those. All of those insurances tie together to a certain extent, but different.
Yes.
Title insurance, and the reason to have it, even if you pay cash, is clearly.
Clearly, there's so many issues that can come up. I can't even go over all of the issues that you could
What are
find
a couple of the common ones?
Title-wise. The common ones that I run into are that the previous property was bought by, you know, great-great-grandmother, and then she passed away, and she passed it to all of her children, and then those children, say several of them have died, and they didn't have wills, and it just becomes a hot mess as to who owns the property, whose interests are supposed to be there. So a lot of times, title insurance companies, depending on how old it is, depending on how long ago the person died, they may insure over these issues, right? So having that title insurance company to protect you if, you know, great-great-grandchild were to come up and say, I just realized you guys sold this property and I had interest in it, so I'm going to try to, you know, stake a claim. Title insurance company would protect you if that were to happen. So really just getting all those issues crossed off. Or you find that property has just been passed from deed to deed to deed and no search has ever been done. And so who owns the property? Oh, now there's a huge mortgage on here from 3 owners back that never got canceled, never got paid off.
Or
So,
if it did, the attorney just didn't do it,
or
which is most of the time.
right? Or the lender just forgot,
Yeah.
you know, to record a satisfaction.
A lender forget?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so you just never know.
Yeah.
And those are the big ones I see, is the mortgage not being canceled and then just like heirs coming out the wazoo that should have signed on, you know, several deeds back. And so now you've got to take care of their interest to try to make sure you get that property free and clear of anybody else trying to claim
Best
it.
insurance you can buy. One premium payment, it's not very expensive, and it covers a lot of those issues.
Can scammers, I've heard of that. I don't know, has that ever happened where a scammer
Well,
would try?
scammers are just, you know, falsifying the documents, right? They come in and maybe the attorney's not so great and they're not checking driver's license or they're not checking anything. And they say, oh, you're the owner? Okay, here's the deed. Sign this deed. Now we're going to transfer it to this new owner. And come to find out they defrauded you and they're not the owner. And so, you know, you can have situations like that. The title insurance company would cover that.
Yeah, because they're I think you're referring, I got a call in last time I was live about that home title lock, you know, where people are defrauding titles. and I sat with a couple of different attorneys, and that's really not exactly
How it happens.
how it happens.
Okay.
So, get the title insurance.
Yeah.
And get the
Yeah, and title insurance would protect you in purchasing the property, right? So even if nothing in the back history of the property is wrong, it's going to protect you moving forward.
That's
So
right.
say the attorney were to go out of business and they failed to record the satisfaction for your current mortgage, or the lender went out of business and so your satisfaction didn't get filed. Well, that title insurance company is going to protect you and your interests moving forward. So it's not only to protect you from what someone else could have done, but
Right.
possibly what mistakes that got made on your closing disclosure at the current transaction,
Title insurance isn't terribly expensive either, is it?
Oh no, it's not terribly expensive, and you've already have to get it when a lender's involved. So, the owner's title insurance is usually not that
It's-
much
it's-
on top
yeah.
of what you're
Couple
already
$100
having to
bucks
pay.
at the most,
Yeah,
usually, depending on the
definitely.
price of your house. But it's and then there's the enhanced policy, which puts another layer of protection on it, which I think is really the only thing you guys sell anyway.
The enhanced title policy we normally sell with our builder closings with the new construction, because it's going to protect you if the builder did something improper when they were building the home.
Oh, builder improv.
Or if they were to go out
Ding.
of business, right? If the builder were to
Yeah.
go into bankruptcy, I mean,
Right.
we don't wish that on anybody, but if that were to happen, that would
Well,
protect
we-
you with
we-
that enhanced policy.
We've seen builders, now back in '09, they went out of business and the subcontractors came back and took out their water heaters, took out their.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen it,
man,
yeah,
that
because
was
they hadn't paid the subs, so the subs came back and said, I'm taking my water heater back, and the house, nobody had occupied the house yet.
Yeah, that would stink if they had.
Oh, yeah.
Well, to the inference earlier, Preston, that I was talking about, I work with a lot of home warranty companies, primarily HWA, Home Warranties of America.
Mhm.
And, recently we're hearing, especially on a new purchase, when you make that first claim in 30 to 60 days after buying and the heat goes out,
Right,
they're saying, show me the inspection report.
yeah.
Hmm.
What they're probably looking for is to make sure that it was working during the time of inspection, because if they look at that report and the home inspector had said something bad about the furnace, get it further checked out, and then if you didn't do that, they're probably looking to deny the claim. That's probably
exactly right.
Wow.
Many lenders have asked for the home inspection report as well, and I tell all my people there's no reason why they should be asking for that.
Mhm.
They're here to loan you money on the property. They're not here to deal with maintenance.
Yeah.
But I do see it a lot in the home warranty.
Yeah, and I don't blame the home warranty, because if they didn't do that, that would just open them up to scams all the time. Just, hey, don't worry about it, just make a claim. Even though they've told you about it, hey, just
Right.
make a claim. I mean, that's not right. That's not right.
And one thing I wanted to ask before we go on the break, Preston, is, and it's an expense I've really taken a lot more seriously over the last few years, has been the radon inspection.
Sure.
I do them now on every house.
Absolutely.
Is that what you recommend?
Yes, I do. And
please tell people why.
yeah, and coincidence, January is Radon Awareness Month. Radon is the
Wow.
second,
Ding.
the second leading cause of lung cancer, second only to smoking. Over 21,000 people die a year of lung cancer that's related to radon exposure.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so 1 in 15 houses across the nation have high radon levels, which would be above 4 picocuries per liter. And you know what that means, it would take me a long time to explain that. But that's the EPA's benchmark if it's above that. I wouldn't say that we're 1 in 15 here. We're probably, and I don't have the scientific just off the top of my head, we're probably about 1 in 22, something like that. But still, I mean, for $180, I mean, why not find out if you have something that could cause lung cancer?
Right.
And get that, and if you do have high radon levels, you can get a radon mitigation system. It's actually not as expensive as you think, somewhere around
$1,500
$1,500.
Yeah.
And I hear some people say, "Oh, I would never buy it if it had a radon." If you go in the mountains, almost I would say over half the houses have a radon mitigation system. It's pretty common there.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, that's good. All right, well, the show your real estate today. Stay with us. Boy, it's moving quick.
It is.
It
It is.
We're so glad that you're listening. We'll be right back on News Talk 1110 and 99.3. Stay with us.
Does WBT